What's up everyone, this is Ryan here. Today I'm going to do a talking video of the Craftsman compact blower. Now as you can see, I know that we'll get using it next weekend as well because I know since the fact you can see like it's like it because I mean look at this thing. I mean this thing you can see is like a towel. So I got one bar left in the barrier, so I know this thing's probably gotta die this next weekend exactly because I expected to say exactly which it's definitely what we expected this machine exactly, but I don't surprise that this thing's gonna get used almost quite a bit because it will get used again next weekend as well because you see like the motor got really hot as you can see because I was using the inflatable tube as you can see because I expected this thing exactly. So it will get used on a weekend next weekend exactly. I know this thing will get used next weekend and I hope the 6 hour battery does not die on me this thing next weekend, but if it does then charge it back up. I mean this thing it takes a while to charge up to 6 hour battery you can see because I know how I expected this thing exactly which it's way how much I expected this machine second, but don't surprise this thing get used almost like quite a bit because well I know this thing will get used again this next weekend as well second because I mean this is a pretty nice looking machine in my opinion. I mean this is a CMCB00100 and I do like this thing a lot because you see how much expected things I could see because this blower surprisingly I mean there's nothing wrong with it exactly, which is definitely what I expected this machine exactly because it will get used on a weekend and then next weekend as you can see because you see how much expected. But this thing right here surprisingly I do like this thing a lot because even though this machine's been used almost like a couple times already, but I do like this thing a lot because you see how much expected this thing's good, which I always hope this thing will get used on a weekend next weekend because I mean this thing surprised that I got to use the whole weekend you see because you know I expected this thing which is definitely how much I expected this machine exactly because if I would expected this machine's been used almost like a couple times, I mean the battery you can see this is a CMCB206 and you can see because well because you can see how much expected this thing which I know since the battery you can see is definitely how much we expected this machine exactly, which I know since the battery you can see is definitely how much expected this thing exactly. Well we will get using on a weekend or next weekend exactly, but we'll get used next weekend. And when I expected the things actually is going to get used almost quite a bit because expected how much we expected the springs exactly because you can see how much expected but this thing will get used again the next weekend.